How long did it take for the comeback to sink in and for you to kind of process and appreciate what y'all did?
Well, I still think it's pretty crazy. I crashed after the game. I was pretty tired. I think emotionally and physically exhausted, but it was a good win for us. Obviously much better than the alternative. But that was a big one for us and a good team win. And everybody got their flowers, but I think we're all ready to move on and go play better.
Good for you, Bo Nix. Take a nap after a big comeback victory. You earned it. Always good to
Ivan Drago.
Yeah. All right, Bo Nix.
That's a good.
You look like that, though.
Yeah,
it's a good pull.
Yeah, it's an interesting look. I don't mind it. All right, Bo Nix. Strange year for Bo, but the Broncos are 5-2.
On your list, Lawrence?
Yeah.
Come on. Ivan Drago, come on.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Rocky IV, Brigitte Nielsen, come on.
But when I thought of her just now, I thought about her Flavor of Love.
Yeah, of course, Flavor Flav. Yeah, no, you have to think back to that. She was Ivan Drago's wife, right? Or girlfriend in that movie? Yeah. In Rocky IV? Yeah.
Well, someone who's not Ivan Drago's wife is Bo Nix, who's number 5.
By the way, can I just take 1 minute here? I just want America to know this. This is the torture that is my life. Again, I can barely remember my kids' names, but somehow there's a brain synapse in there that has that, Brigitte Nielsen played Ivan Drago's wife in Rocky IV 30 years ago or whatever the hell it was. How I haven't drinking that brain cell away, but that I can't remember my blood type. It's just,
Drinking, definitely not a word.
Yeah. That's how it goes. Sports stats, too.
Yes.
Right? You going to know who running back 5 was this particular week. But,
yes.
All right.
But my wife's, mom's birthday, no idea.
Yeah. Well, nothing like drinking in a good Dallas pass defense for a quarterback, Matthew. And Bo Nix gets a very favorable matchup.
He certainly does. No team allows more fantasy points per game to quarterbacks. Cowboys give up 25.1. But more importantly, not only did they give up 25.1, they give up 3 more points than any other team. So they're not only bad, but they're significantly worse than every other team in this particular category. They're also giving up the second most touchdown passes of the season. So Bo Nix, coming off the big fourth quarter last week against Denver, is a top 5 play for me this week. 5 of the 7 quarterbacks to face Dallas have scored at least 24 fantasy points.
Yep, another clear top 5 play. Jalen Hurts, as you mentioned before, coming off perhaps the best game of his career, now gets the Giants' pass defense that's really banged up. Brian Burns is going to play, but is a little nicked. Also, Paulson Adebo, question mark there. And look, Saquon Barkley hasn't had a single good game on the ground this year. Yeah. At some point, you're 7 weeks in. This is just what your offense is. The pass game has worked lately, so I think that they'll continue to lean into that a bit more than expected, and Hurts will have a good day against the Giants. Justin Herbert plays tonight, Matthew.
He does.
He gets the team that Jalen Hurts just lit up.
Yeah, exactly. Over the past 4 weeks, Vikings giving up 9 yards per pass attempt. That's the most in the NFL over that stretch. They're also giving up touchdown passes at the 4th highest rate again over the last month. And so Justin Herbert, who leads the NFL in pass attempts this season, he's had at least 38 or more pass attempts in 4 of his past 5 games. They haven't been able to run the ball given the injuries to the offensive line, the injury to Omari and Hampton. We like Kamani Vidal, but I think he's going to be more viable as a pass catcher in this game than as a runner. So Justin Herbert is my QB7. You already know that Quentin Johnston is on my love list as well. QJ, Keenan Allen, Ladd McConkey. Aronde Gadsden is the real deal.
Yeah,
I'm in on Aronde Gadsden as a tight end one the rest of the way.
They might have 4 very quality weapons in that pass game.
And a defense that has so far underperformed, underwhelmed.
It's a middle-of-the-pack defense where there was hopes that it might be elite. A defense that has been elite at times, Lawrence, is Atlanta's. And you've chosen Michael Penix for the love list. Explain yourself.
Yeah, well,
Bird up again.
Lot of bye weeks, right? But this is the selling point here. Well, a lot of bye weeks. But
did I mention bye weeks?
Did I mention bye weeks? There's some good stuff, though. Check it out. Miami allows the 5th most fantasy points per game to quarterbacks. Now, the thing will be here with Michael Penix is he's only had 1 game this season where he's thrown for multiple touchdown passes. The Dolphins have allowed that 4 out of their 6 games this season. The 2 quarterbacks that didn't throw for 2 touchdowns versus the Dolphins was Justin Fields and Dylan Gabriel. So it'll be about the touchdowns for Michael Penix. As we know, he doesn't give you much on the ground, but he has averaged 268 passing yards in his last 3 games. So he's going to have to get, like some of those Patrick Mahomes cheap touchdown passes. But in a week where you got buys, you got injuries, more of a stream type play, I like Penix against the Miami Dolphins.
Yep. As a lifelong diehard Atlanta Falcons fan, as a man who cried himself to sleep after 28-3, what's the level of confidence in Penix going forward, 0 to 10?
It's solid, middling. Still got to see more. You definitely want to see him take steps up. You would have liked to see him build on that Bills game.
Yep.
And bring that to the Niners game. That didn't happen. So you want to see him light it up versus this Dolphins defense.
Yep, I only had 9 career starts.
You're the general manager of the Falcons.
Yeah.
I offer you a second for Kirk Cousins. You doing it right now?
Yeah. Yeah, I would take a second-round pick.
Yeah, for Kirk Cousins versus. Hey, we don't know what Penix, so we've still got a chance this year.
Yeah.
You want a veteran in there and something in case something happens to Penix or he melts down. That's my point.
They look like
do you believe enough in Penix that you're willing to trade away a Bible starting quarterback for a future asset?
Versus a second-round pick, definitely. They look like a 8-9 team right now just because of how they play up and down and stuff like that. So that's how I feel about them.
Okay, let's get to others receiving votes. 2 guys who aren't going to get traded anytime soon, Caleb Williams and Jackson Dart.
Ravens allow the second most fantasy points per game to opposing quarterbacks. We already talked about this game. 49.5 over/under. I think Caleb is a top 10 play this week. Baltimore last in pressure rate over the last month. And how about Jackson Dart? 23.6 fantasy points in the first matchup with Philadelphia. 3 of the last 4 quarterbacks to face the Eagles have scored at least 17 fantasy points. You know about the rushing, a touchdown in 3 of the last 4 for Dart. I'm as a top 12 play. Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and Rotoworld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest Roto-World fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.